Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn and Scorpio energy reading, connection reading. So that could be with a friend or a family member or a partnership. And this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take the parts that do resonate. If it does not, leave the parts that do not resonate, as those may be meant for someone else. All right, so we're going to get our Green Witch Tarot, and we are going to look at what you may possibly be struggling at within the relationship, what it is that you need to look at within the relationship, and then what energies may possibly be coming in for you. All right. If you are interested in any of the cards that I am using, please feel free to check out the links down below. All right, so what you may possibly be struggling with. So we have the King of Wands. So I feel like it's that comfort within the relationship. I feel like there's something that's maybe making you feel on edge, or you're not feeling that comfort, safe feeling within the relationship. What you may need to look at. So we have the Six of Pentacles here, and so we have the woman, and she is handing out some coins to this lady, who is in turn showing both her hands and giving flowers. But then we have this gentleman here who has some dice that he's hiding behind his back. So I feel like, are you questioning whether or not you can trust this person? And if you have a trust issue within a relationship, that's going to make it unsettled, that's going to give you that unsettled feeling. For future energies, we have the Queen of Swords, so I feel like it's finding no solution as to why am I feeling this way, and what are those things that can be done to make me feel more secure and feel better within the relationship. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Pentacles. Work needs to be done. There's some work that needs to be done here in this relationship, because there's some sort of trust issue that's going on between the two of you, that somebody's not feeling 100%, that someone's having some trust issues within the relationship. All right, so let's get some tarot. Sometimes that happens, unfortunately. All right, so we had the Emperor. Maybe you're feeling that somebody is controlling. Maybe you're feeling that someone has blinders on and is only seeing things from their point of view. It could have to do with work or a job, okay? Maybe you feel that the person is putting so much energy into their work or their job. Sometimes we're like, if you put as much energy and effort into your job as you would do that. What is the saying? If you put that as much energy as you put into your job, if you put that into the relationship, our relationship would be amazing. Right? Or it could have to do with money. There could be some finances. Maybe you're feeling like financially, like is that person, spending money? Is that person spending money that you don't know about? Or are they spending money on things that, if you're in a relationship and your partner makes a big purchase but doesn't consult you before you do it, and then you see this, right? And you're like, well, okay, well, you didn't talk about that with me. We didn't consult. We didn't work on this. We didn't discuss this. And you just spend all of this money on something, and, that will make you feel like, okay, like you don't trust that person. It's like, well, why did you do that without me? Why did you do that without talking with me about it, right? So you're feeling some shadiness. It's like, are you being shady with money? Or, sometimes if there's traveling or something, right? And someone says, they have to travel, but they don't tell you until like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving tonight to go on a business trip. What? Like, why didn't you say that to me? Why didn't you let me know? Why didn't you give me time to plan for this? Like, why are you waiting till the last minute? And then the person says, well, I didn't want to tell you because I knew you were going to get upset. It's like, okay, so then you think that waiting until the last minute is going to make me feel better about it, so you can just tell me and then leave? Like, that's not how this relationship is supposed to work. Like, we need to work on this relationship. We have Seven of Wands. Sometimes you may feel like all of this stuff is coming at you, but I also feel like you need to speak up. And this is something that you need to speak up about, that if you're feeling that there's some shadiness going on here, that this needs to be discussed. This needs to be worked through. This needs to be handled. Sometimes we question ourselves, because Knight of Swords can be that scattered energy. Sometimes we question ourselves. We're like, well, is this person being shady, or is this person not being shady? Am I blowing something out of proportion, or am I not blowing something out of proportion? You know, sometimes we question ourselves. So for future energy, I like this, which is the Fool, which is a new beginning, a new start. Thinking of those ways, okay, how can we change this? How can we turn this around? How can we make this better? How can we get past this situation? How can we not feel this energy around again? You know, how can we get this trust back on track? And I feel like it's also important to not let working through things that have happened in the past, but to not bring those forward and to be able to let those go. Right? That's so funny. Then we have the Eight of Cups, right? That if the two of you have the situation, you acknowledge the situation, you discuss the situation, you come back together, right? Four of Wands is coming back together, getting that partnership back on track, which I love. And then moving over to the Fool card, where we're starting new, we're starting fresh, we've got a clean slate, we're going to move past the situation. But it's important to not, if you're not fully past the situation, then don't say you're past it, right? Don't say something that you don't believe in, making sure that, okay, I'm truly past what happened in the past. I'm truly over that situation, right? You're not going to bring it up again. That if you have a heated moment in the future, that you're not going to throw that back in that person's face, because you know what? You really weren't over it. You really weren't past it. And that goes back onto you because you said you were past it, but then you're throwing it back in that person's face. And of course, how is that person supposed to feel? Like they're going to feel betrayed. They're going to have trust issues with you because you said you were past it, and so they were believing your word. So I just feel like for this future energy, make sure that you are completely past the situation, that you are completely over it, that it will not be brought up again. So we have Five of Pentacles, which is it's a temporary hardship, right? I feel like it's also communication between the two of you, making sure that that happens, but this is just temporary. It's temporary if you're in the frame of mind is that, yeah, I'm going to work through it, right? If you're like, I'm going to ignore it, then it's going to go on for longer. But if you're like, yeah, we're going to get down to work. We're going to make things happen. We're going to get past this. We're going to work through this. And if that's the frame of mind that you're in, then that's what's going to happen. So I kind of feel, I love this energy right here, which is the Four of Wands and the Fool, because I feel like that's coming back together as the partnership. All right, so let's get some more cards here. Honesty. Definitely there's some honesty and trust issues going on here, okay? Princess of Swords is finding those solutions, right? Finding those solutions, thinking about those things that are bothering you, thinking about those things that you want to discuss. Getting yourself in the Sun energy, right? Okay, you can't really see those, so I'll show you these two. We have the Princess of Swords, and then we have the Sun energy, right? Being in that energy. Making sure that you're thinking positively of the solutions that can be done. Staying positive. We have the Star card. Is being positive about the situation, right? What is the energy that you're putting out? Are you saying, oh, this has happened so many times before, it's the same old thing, or I'm feeling negative, or again, right? Not getting past it. It's your frame of mind. Are you positive? Are you hopeful? Do you see the direction that this relationship is going? Are you feeling guided, right? Are you doing those things? Are you coming in touch with your own feelings and you're expressing those, and you're figuring out, okay, where do we go from here? But I'm staying positive. I'm going to be in positive energy, and I know that we're going to get past this. We're going to work on this, and we're going to build our trust back into this relationship, and I'm not going to worry about those things that I cannot control. I'm not going to overthink things, because when I overthink things and I start to go to the left, it creates a bigger problem. So I want to have that communication. I want to have that connection. I want to get this relationship back into a happy place. I want us to have fun. I want this relationship to be more positive, right? I want to build the trust. I want to reach out and extend that olive branch, right? The Prince of Cups is reaching out and extending that olive branch to your partner. And if your partner hasn't done it, but you say, I'm going to take control of this situation and I'm going to extend that olive branch because I've taken the time to sort through what it is that I feel is missing, what I feel that I need, what it is that I want to discuss, how I'm feeling. I'm feeling confident that I can reach out and extend that olive branch and we can get past this. And have that discussion and decide where do you go from there, right? You know where you are and where you stand, and then having that discussion with your partner and saying, okay, where do we go from here? So let's pull one more. Do we let it go, right? Do we move past it? This has been exhausting. This has been tiring, right? The two of you have been through a lot, especially when you're trying to build back trust issues. That is something that is a lot to have to go through, but it's like, okay, tens are completions. We're a little beat up, but we're going to get past it. We're going to persevere. That was so funny because I was feeling the Scorpio card. I was feeling the Death card. All right, so the Death card is the Scorpio card, and that is letting go of what is holding you back. So the horse is kind of stomping on this old version, right? Getting rid of that, moving past it. But it also represents transformation and change. That I feel like this relationship is kind of in that transformation stage where there's some trust issues, and it does take a while to come back from trust issues, but it's like if you're able to communicate and you're able to talk about those things and you're able to work through them and let them go, that this can really bring a lot of change within the relationship if you're building the trust back. Because here I feel like that's a question, but then it's the process of working through it. But you both have to be on the same page about wanting to work through it, right? With the Three of Pentacles, working through it. And you both have to look within to find what it is that's bothering you, where you feel that trust issues are lacking, and then what it is that you need from your partner in order to move forward to build those trust issues back. All right, so I'm feeling this one here. We have Cow Spirit, which the miracles are endless. And again, as I was saying before, it's your perspective, your energy that you're putting out there. Is it positive? Is it the sun and the star energy? Is that what you're thinking of, right? Because swords are thinking and being in the positive energy that we will come up with this solution, that we will work through this, that we will build our trust back, staying positive and not going to the negative. Because again, if you're projecting negative, you're projecting it's not going to work out, that things aren't going to change, then that's what's going to happen. It's not going to change because you're already putting yourself behind the 8 ball if your attitude is negative. But if your attitude is positive and we're going to work through this, then that's what will happen, and it'll feel like a miracle because it's like, oh wow, you know what, my perspective, when I have this positive energy and that we're going to work through this, this is what happens. This is what comes in for me. This is what manifests. All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.